Hey guys, I'm Taylor Hull and welcome to the first ever episode of Castaway Cars presented by Comp Cams. In this series, we're going to talk a little bit about my cars and some of my friends' cars that we've owned in the past, maybe some stories to go along with them, and why we no longer own them. So, should be a lot of fun. Stay tuned. Alright, so the first car I'm going to go over is my very first car. I got it for Christmas when I was 15. I turned 16 in March, so I helped get some of the money together to get it, but to be totally honest, it was mostly my parents and my grandparents that helped me get it. So for some reason they thought it would be a responsible and good decision to get a 16-year-old kid a Mustang GT. So I was definitely that Mustang guy in high school. I had a lot of them, but this was my first one. It was a 2000 Mustang GT Shelby edition. It was black with gold stripes, 5-speed, bone stock 4.6. And that was really where I kind of got my first introduction to drifting, even though I didn't really know what drifting was at the time. But I really liked doing burnouts and power slides, so that was what I did as much as possible. I went through a clutch pretty quickly in the car because I was a 15 and 16-year-old kid that didn't really know how to drive a 5-speed that well. I went through a lot of rear tires, which my parents were very displeased about, and I had the greatest excuses that one could ever come up with of why that was, none of which included doing burnouts or power slides. So we did a lot of burnouts and a lot of donuts, and that's kind of how I got, equipped to possess the skills for racing and drifting and all that stuff. But through the course of doing that, I made some mistakes. You make some mistakes when you're learning, right? I was no exception. And I was out one night at a party, wasn't drinking, contrary to popular belief. Really didn't drink back then. I was racing cars, little Legends cars back then, and my parents had kind of instilled in me that if I got caught doing anything bad, I would lose my racing privileges. So it always mattered to me more to race than to get in trouble. So I wasn't drinking, but I was out almost past curfew, and my parents had a pretty strict rule that if I got back past curfew, it was going to be a problem. So it was 12 o'clock curfew, and it was about 11:55, and I was 10 minutes away, so had to make up some time, right? Northbound and down at that time. I was turning off of Highway 166 onto Banks Mill Road out in Douglasville, Villa Rica, Georgia area, and I was digging. I was trying my best to absolutely get home as soon as possible. And I had to preface what happened. I had gotten a really good habit of every time I get in the car, I turn the traction control off because I like doing burnouts and power slides, right? So if you like doing burnouts and power slides, you got to turn the traction control off at all times. Automatic, but it was a button you had to press. So I just stopped for gas because I didn't have enough gas to get home because I was a broke high schooler also. So I'd only put like $10 in the tank at a time, right? Got gas. And this one particular time, I did not remember to turn the traction control off. So it was me and two of my buddies in the car trying to get home before curfew. Take this right turn just a little bit too fast, and I feel the back end to start to step out. Cool, power slide. I'm going to power into it. We're going to get out of this thing. We're going to be all good to go. Right? No, not right. I powered into it. Traction control kicked in, and I was already sideways, kicked out to the left. When the traction control kicks in, the rear tire stops spinning. When the rear tires stop spinning, the car goes where the front tires are pointed, which in this case was directly across the road. So tires quit, turn to the left, mailbox, ditch, tree. And that was kind of the end of that car. But basically, it ended up being the captain of the police's front yard. So that was a lot of fun. But I went across the road, hit the mailbox, busted the windshield. It's late at night, so I'm just kind of seeing sky ground because it's big and bumpy, and it's a yard, not a road anymore. And it's like this little culvert that we went over. So see the headlights, then dip down to the culvert, come back up just looking at the sky, come back down, tree right in front of me. And we hit the tree and then flipped over. So the other cool thing is, I don't know what the deal was with Mustang airbags, but 2 separate times I've had this happen in a Mustang. I'll get to the second story later, but basically when we hit the tree, my face went straight forward, hit the steering wheel, came back, and when I was coming back for round 2, then the airbag deployed and hit me in the face. So I got to bounce my face off the steering wheel, bust my nose and my lip, and then get airbag burn all up my arms. So I got the best of both worlds there. But car came to a stop upside down. we quickly were able to figure out that everybody was okay. We crawled out the passenger side, I think, because the driver's side was pretty caved in. I'll show you some pictures of the wrecked car here and where I hit the tree now, but I'm really fortunate that the tree was there, because if it wasn't there, I would have gone through the captain of the police's living room. So it was a good thing, all in all things considered. I wouldn't wanted to wake him up while he was you know, having his evening nap, or, you know, asleep in his recliner there. But believe it or not, it didn't even wake him up. Georgia State Patrol got there. They had to knock on the door and call him to get him out. I didn't know until at that point that it was in fact the captain of the police's front yard. He was not pleased. I did have to go back there a few days later and put a mailbox up. And that was the first time also that I heard my mom swear. She came pulling up a few minutes later after I called and told her what I had done, and I can't believe you wrecked your damn car. And that was the first time I ever heard my mom say bad words. So it was a great night all in all. Unfortunately, I lost what I believe was a beautiful car. And, you know, I guess I was doing something right, or I was a really good salesman at the time, because my parents ended up allowing me to get yet another Mustang GT right behind this one. And I'll save that story for the next episode. Thanks for watching. Take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this, and we'll have another video out shortly. Thank you.
Action.
Recording now?
Yep.
Okay. I'm Taylor Hull, and it's colder than it looks here. My nipples are hard.
Pleasant.
Oh.
And cut.
Next,
Action.
I'm just going to keep rolling through.